Ngiyabonga, President. Thank you, Honorable the President. The next follow-up will be from Honorable Kathy Labuschagne.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. President, we have an electricity crisis in our country as there has been an evident lack of foresight and investment in alternative, cleaner energy sources in the past decade. We also made a commitment to a just energy transition as we move away from carbon-intensive sources towards more sustainable, renewable alternatives. With the self-inflicted electricity crisis, Eskom is under pressure to bring Kusile online to decrease load shedding. Mr. President, you were the Deputy President responsible to help find solutions for Eskom. You were also the chair of the Cadre Deployment Committee of the ANC. And it seems as if all these imprudent decisions also forced your Minister of Environmental Affairs to make an irresponsible decision. Mr. President, considering all this evidence, how do you justify deploying cadres to Eskom who were, and it still seems as if they are still unable, to catalyze a just transition of Kusile, given the environmental impact on the scarce water resources, and more important, or most important of all, the predicted early deaths of at least 320 innocent people in that area, even as an interim measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Labuschagne. Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. What the Honorable Member Labuschagne has referred to is a matter that has to deal with how the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Matters, Affairs rather, has given Eskom permission, an exemption rather, for the emissions that emanate from Kusile. I have said that this is an interim measure to help us to deal with the load shedding that is currently underway. We are very alive to the negative impact that this is having, particularly on the health of our people. But at the same time, we have to weigh up a number of challenges that we have as a country with regard to the need for energy, as well as the need to ensure that we have a healthy population. Now, this is a balance that we are managing, and as indicated, we are also embarking on mitigating initiatives that will ensure that the health of our people in those areas is well catered for through screenings that should happen, as well as the treatment that should ensue as well. So this being a temporary measure is an initiative that we do believe is well balanced with the needs overall of our people as well as the economy. So this has nothing to do with the deployment of people. It has to do with the reality that we are facing right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable the President. The last follow-up for this question is from Honorable T.C. Modise. Order. Honorable members, order.
Motlatsa modulasetulo wa ntlo ya di-province tsa setšhaba tla ke go leboge mma motlotlegi Tautona ya naga ke lebogela dikarabo tsa gago tse di maleba tse di nang le boleng go bontsha ga kgoromente ya rona e tsaya kgannye ya phetogo ya loapi tsia e sekagetse tsebe sentle-ntle. Le kgang e leng tlhoba boroko e ya kgaogo ya motlakase, ra go leboga motlotlegi Tau Tuna gore ka boammaaruri goromente o eteletseng pele e bontsha ga e tlisa ditirelo sentle go setšhabeng sa rona ka kakaretso. Motlotlegi Tau Tuna ya naga, ke kopa hela go botsanyana potsonyana ya gore what is investment that is government undertaking in decarbonizing a technology to leverage coal energy generation as part of our energy mix and national resource. Investment in various decarbonizing mechanisms such as carbon capture. Ke a go leboga Motlatsamodulasetulo.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Modise. Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair, and thank you for the question with regard to what is it that we are doing in relation to the whole process of decarbonization, particularly in relation to the technologies that we are looking at, particularly as it comes to carbon capture. Now, I'm able to say that the Council for Geoscience ke batho ba rutegileng thata, ba tsebang dintho tse botlhale tota, tse ba o reng ha o bua le bona wa utlwa hela gore no ba se itse se ba buang ka sona. Ke bao ba ko geoscience ba tlhalefile thata batho bao. Yaanong batho bao, those people, Honorable Deputy Chair, are piloting a carbon capture project in Leandra in Mpumalanga. And we are funding this whole project. We have also received funding from the World Bank to research the feasibility of injecting carbon dioxide into deep, sustainable geological formations, approximately 1 kilometer below the surface. Now, this is an intricate process that is being looked at, and we are rather pleased that we've got an international partnership with the World Bank so that we can move ahead with greater determination when we look at real scientific and technologically advanced areas such as carbon capture. Ke tshepa gore ntho e ba e dirang e tla tswella pele. E tla ba le thuso e kgolo tota e tla kgonang gore e re ise kwa pele re le batho ba South Africa. Ke leboga potso ya gago e o e beileng ka Setswana se se pila se tlhapileng. Thank you.
Honorable the President. The next question, we are continuing, and we are now going to request that you respond to question number 11 as asked by the Honorable F.J. Badenhorst.
The independent panel that I appointed to investigate the circumstances surrounding the docking of the Lady R vessel in Simonstown in December 2022 was led by a respected, reputable, retired judge and two prominent, respected legal minds. The extent of the work undertaken and the information that the panel sought and obtained and analyzed gives me full confidence in the contents of their report. And by the way, as they commenced their work, they asked for anyone with information to come forward and present whatever information that they could have had. and they received information and interviewed a number of people who had submitted information. Now, Honorable Deputy Chair, I have no reason whatsoever to believe the findings of the panel were irrational. In fact, I believe that the findings of the panel were completely rational. As one went through the report, I could find no irrationality. The panel made no finding of involvement by clandestine parties or illegal transactions, and no evidence has been presented to contradict the panel's findings. The contents of the shipment carried on the Lady R are kept secret so as not to compromise the work or the safety of our security forces. I have no intention of compromising this under any circumstances. Section 28 of the National Conventional Arms Control Act makes it clear that information on the quantity of items is shared with Parliament on a confidential basis. Nothing in this act requires disclosure on the intended use of the controlled items. In fact, the act expressly states that information concerning the technical specifications of controlled items may be omitted from a report contemplated in this section in order to protect military and commercial secrets. The work of the National Conventional Arms Control is critical in ensuring that we abide by our international obligations in relation to the transfer and trade in controlled items, and it will continue to do this critical work as provided for in its founding legislation and relevant United Nations conventions. The protection of information related to its work is clearly provided for in the Act and is just as important to its mandate and to national security. Government will continue to respect the requirements of the law and its responsibility to safeguard the security of our nation. And I thank you in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable the President. Honorable Badenhorst, you will be the first to ask the follow-up.
Honorable Deputy Chair, thank you very much. Honorable President, thank you. Yes, I have the report here of the panel. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Referring to it. As you alluded, you did appoint this independent panel to investigate the Lady R saga, which no doubt, it seems to me, in your mind, has now given you a license to pass go and collect 200 of whatever was on that boat. The inconvenient to collect 200 of whatever items were on that boat.
Oh, okay.
So I'm referring to Monopoly here. If you ever played the game, pass go and collect 200 of whatever was on the boat. Anyway, the inconvenient truth, Mr. President, is, and you referred to it in your answer now, is that this government wishes to hide whatever pertains to the National Conventional Arms Committee, chaired by a Minister Gugubeni in your presidency at the time. This panel's report, referring specifically to the NCACC, in the last paragraph of the report, is highly critical of the lack of communication between ministers, government officials, and the failure to write reports to keep you, the President, abreast of matters of national importance. I've looked and I can't find any report of that NCACC over that period as is required in terms of their parliamentary mandate. Mr. President, this is just typical of what South Africans have come to expect of the ANC government, with a flouting of our laws, total disregard. What mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that this critical committee, as you referred to it, fulfills its mandate without fear and favor. Thank you.
Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. My answer is very simple and straightforward. As the Honorable Member read the report, for which he thanks me for, the executive summary, he will see, as set out in the final paragraph, that there were certain things that were not done as they should have been. And to that end, we have embarked on a process, as also suggested by the Honorable Judge, that we need to put right. Now, no law, I repeat, no law was transgressed, and processes that should have been embarked upon should have been done. And this is the real advantage of having inquiries, because inquiries come up with evidence of certain things that could have been done better. And as they put them forward as recommendations. And those recommendations are matters that we are attending to. Nothing is ever perfect in life, and no one is ever perfect. We always strive to improve, and in this case as well, the inquiry found that no law was transgressed. However, there are a number of administrative and technical matters that need to be improved. And I thank the Honorable Judge Mojapelo for having come up with that type of conclusion. So these matters, communication and administrative matters, are being attended to, and they are going to be straightened out so that we can prove that, yes, we are a government, your government as well, that abides by the rule of law and that strives to do things correctly as we develop. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable the President. Honorable Mr. M.E. Ntshabaleng, you have the next follow-up.
Thanks, Honorable Deputy Chair.
It's the same thing.
And thanks to the President for this elaborate, explanation to the question as asked by Honorable Badenhorst. Mr. President, it is unfortunate that some people, including political parties in this House, made public noises and statements about the docking of Lady R in Simonstown in December 2022. Despite all those, your response and investigations led by an independent panel has been widely and warmly received. I just want to check what has been the reception of the seriousness in which you address the matter, and what effect is it having at a diplomatic level? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Honorable Ntshabaleng. Honorable the President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. Since we released the report, we have received nothing else but really positive comments all round, and may I say globally as well. They have been really pleased with the manner in which we address this issue that was hyped to incredible levels, that sought to tarnish the image of our country, that also had a negative impact on our economy. We took steps to have this matter investigated, and many people who are careful watchers of our country have said at a diplomatic level, we could not have done it better than what we have done. So it has been well received. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable the President. The next follow-up will be from the Honorable Mr. F. Tutui.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. Honorable President, ke bona one of our Barata who are neat. You like to talk a lot about this, but Usaba Habua Kaleri are. It seems to be that you were scared to give us all the facts about this Lady R ship. History has proven that every time when the ANC transgresses, you apologize, and then all must be in order. And that is not acceptable to the country, Honorable President. The country cannot trust the ANC government. Knowing that, am I protected, Chair? Knowing that information regarding the docking and the loading and the unloading of the Lady R was handled in a clandestine manner, since the issue arose and the fact was frowned upon, letters by the President formed part of this investigation. You alluded to the fact that the panel that was appointed by you to look at the letters that you wrote. In a government where you are head of state, where the ministers below you transgressed, to give you the report that your panel has compiled, and you stated now that you can say that the report was not irrational. You chose your words, and words have power. You didn't say that the report might have been truthful or false. You chose the words irrational. Now, Honorable President, how can the President expect South Africa and the world, for that matter, to believe that this report is in fact truthful when there was no transparency in this whole debacle? And it seems as if the President, with respect, is now hiding behind the act by not revealing the information that the country wants to know, what happened there and what in fact did come in or what was sent out. Thank you, Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Du Toit. Before the President responds, Honorable Du Toit, if you read the question, you will see that Honorable Badenhorst in the question was saying that the issue of irrational. It's not that the President was using that word. I just want to correct that. It is part of the script. Yes. Thank you, Honorable the President. You may continue. Honorable, I am the presiding officer, and I am the presiding officer, and I am responsible for the decorum of this house. So that is the reason why I am making sure that we don't accuse the President of any other thing. Honorable the President, you may continue. Order. Badenhorst, his is no so pink.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. And thank you for the reference to the wording used in the original question, because that's precisely what I was responding to. The question spoke about rationality, and as a rational person, I responded to that. So you want to know whether it's truthful. I appointed the judge and 2 other people, and they have given me a report. And the letters that they went through were letters where I was setting out the terms of reference, and I wanted them to look at those as well, and whatever other correspondence that there could have been. Now, you may well want to say this could have been appointed by someone else. There's no one else who would appoint this inquiry. I am the President, and I appointed them. So you cannot run away from that. So there was only one person who could appoint them. So you like it or you don't like it, that is the reality. So they were appointed, and they've come up with a report, and a report that contains the truthfulness of the events as they reported them. And those issues that have to deal with national security, I have decided to keep away from public scrutiny because they deal with national security. And what has that got to do with? It's got to deal with the equipment that is used by our security forces. who risk their lives to defend this country. Now, I'm not about to reveal the things that they use to defend the people of South Africa so that they themselves become vulnerable and the people of South Africa become vulnerable. So that I have said I will not do, because my duty is to make sure that security forces defend the people of this country with the means that they have. So they've been given the means, and those means must not make South Africa or them vulnerable. So take it or leave it. That's what the reality is.
Thank you, Honorable the President. The final follow-up is from the Honorable F.J. Badenhorst.
Honorable President, it's me again. We should maybe swap badges afterwards. I like yours more.
Mine is for the Springboks.
No, mine's for the country, our country.
Yes, I always wear our country.
Mr. President, thank you so much for once again reassuring us, and you took time to do it. You said twice now that no laws were transgressed with the docking of the Lady R.
Yeah.
Rules, laws, provisions, it would be the same thing. Here's the report. The second last paragraph of this report, I'm going to read it to you. This is your judge, your senior counsel, and another party that compiled this report. And it says, the vessel and those who assisted it contravened a number of provisions that relate to commercial vessels docking at South African ports, including South Africa Revenue Services designation of a port of entry. Yeah. Please answer. Thank you, President. Yeah.
Honorable the President.
What that refers to are the protocols and practices that should have been done in a particular way. No laws, as the judge concluded, were contravened. So those are matters, administrative and technical, which we are going to be attending to. So that is what the reference in the report is about. So as reported by the judge, and as our conclusion also confirms, no laws. However, yes, there were administrative mishaps and missteps that needed to have been followed. For instance, no. For instance, just to give you some color, to report amongst the ministers at the time they should have, to ensure that I also received the report at the time when I should have. So those are the matters that there were missteps over. And I'm rather pleased that the judge has highlighted that, because what is it going to do? It's going to improve the way in which we manage all these things. So they are advisory, they are matters that are going to enable us to handle matters better, matters that will, if they are not handled well, in time will have a negative impact. So that's what I thank the judge for. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable President.